Your reaction to that and the distinction that he's making between funding Hamas and Hezbollah and actually pulling the strings with respect to this specific attack?
First, excuse me if I'm still catching my breath here, because as we were preparing to sit down for this interview, the sirens went off here in Tel Aviv. So we had to run to the shelter, then run back to this position. As for what the president said about Iran, well, over 93% of Hamas's budget, that we know as a fact, comes from Iran. Now, as for the specific October 7th massacre and Iranian involvement there, I can tell you that there are indications that we are examining, but that's all I can say in that respect. Iran also funds Hezbollah, obviously, and what the IDF is doing in Gaza now with the clear goal of dismantling Hamas is also very important, because we want to send a message to Israel's other adversaries across the region, including Iran and including Hezbollah. President Biden said it very clear, and he said it in one word: don't. Don't try us. Don't test us. Israel is ready to act on every front if we need. We didn't invite this war. We didn't want this war. It was forced upon us, the war with Hamas now, but we will finish it on our terms. And we will prevail, and we will win it, and this terror organization will be dismantled.
Tal, thank you so much for joining us. Please, of course, stay safe. Understand that, you said you just had to go to the shelter, so please make sure that you are keeping yourself safe first and foremost. But, we're happy to have you here, because we've been asking this question of when that ground invasion of Gaza is going to begin. The understanding was that it would start on Friday. We still have not seen that happen yet. What is Netanyahu, and what is going on in the war room now? Do we have any understanding of when that invasion will start?
I cannot answer questions of this kind. I'm not wearing uniforms. I'm not a general making the tough decisions. And we cannot talk about military strategy. This is for the generals to decide. But I can tell you about the goals of this operation. First and foremost, we want to keep Israeli territory safe and secure citizens. Second, it is very important to us that we will bring back home our sons and daughters. Do you know that the IDF today has notified 199 Israeli families that their loved ones were abducted into Gaza? And of course, the declared goal of this entire operation is to dismantle Hamas. We're not in it to degrade Hamas, deter Hamas, or contain Hamas. We want to dismantle Hamas. And once we do, it will be the benefit of the entire civilized world, including the Palestinian people who object to this terrorist regime.
Tal, late last week, Israel issued an evacuation warning to Gaza, basically saying, we're coming in, could be as soon as 24 hours, you should get out. Now, that struck me as quite a humane move in the context of everything that's happening. But Israel has gotten repeated criticism from the highest levels of the UN, from so-called human rights organizations, saying they need to rescind that evacuation warning. Tal, how do you respond to those criticizing Israel for doing that?
Well, first, thank you for mentioning it, because, in fact, it was more than 24 hours of a prior warning to the Palestinian people in the northern Gaza Strip. And we're doing that by sending leaflets, by sending out our message on media channels, on social media, by conducting phone calls. They know that they need to evacuate from the northern Gaza Strip, and the IDF has recognized certain routes for them, designated routes from which they can go south to safer havens, we should say, where humanitarian aid is waiting. But the ones preventing the Palestinian population from going to these areas, as far as we know, is Hamas. And we see that by setting up roadblocks. They're telling the population to stay put. They are putting civilians in harm's way. Israel does not want to hurt any civilian. What we want is to dismantle the Hamas terrorist organization, and we will reach to each and every one of these terrorists who committed the October 7th massacre.
Tal Heinrich, thank you for being with us today. We appreciate your perspective.